welcome to the conference. Yes, we're going to record. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I am so excited to welcome everyone. I still have a few more people joining, but I want to welcome Cynthia all the way from Zimbabwe, Pastor Ann, Dr. Mwaka, Pastor Gloria, Pastor Mary, Speedway, and Alicia with Wings. There's still more people joining, but we are going to start. Thank you, Taku, for starting the recording. Right. So, Taku, over to you for the first speaker. We're going to have Anne is going to speak first, and then we're going to have Cynthia Chirinda from Zimbabwe, Tendai from United Kingdom, and Coach Terry is going to be amazing. Have your book out, write notes from this seminar. You're going to go and start writing your second, third, fourth book. I'm looking forward to coming to your launches this year, whether okay. God bless you. Over to you, Taco.
Hi everyone, I'm Anne and I'm based in Zimbabwe. I'm so pleased to be joining you all in this conference about book writing and book publishing. Writing a book is hard work. I've come across many who have said they want to write a book, they want to write poetry, they've got stories to tell, but till today, not even a page has been put on paper. So if you're one of those who have actually got your manuscript ready, I'd love to congratulate you because you've actually accomplished your goal. Let me tell you a bit about myself. I'm a typesetter. Some may call me a desktop publisher, some an originator, and some may actually be wondering what that is. Well, that is the laying out of books, taking manuscripts, making them into books for them to be printed or for them to be published. That's what I do. I've noticed many concentrate so much on the pureness of the outside cover, its attractiveness. Of course, it has to be beautiful. It has to lure someone. It has to be very appealing. It has to be, it has to be beautiful. And also the interior has to be beautiful. Everything about a book has to be beautiful. Everything about it, from the inside, outside, everything, contents, everything about a book has to be interesting. Um, so it's not just about the flow of text or about the message. No, everything about it has to be beautiful. It just has to be a package of pureness. So that's what I believe in, and that's what I work on. um, well, I do not only lay out books in two languages, English and my local language, which is Shona. No, I also do books in different languages. Like currently, I do books for an international author, John Beville, in different languages, in about 13 languages. It'll be one book, but being translated into different languages. So I'll be laying out the books into those different languages. That's what I do. So I also do translation from Shona, from English to my local language is Shona. But if you're one of those who want your books to be done in different languages, um, if you have your own translators, that'll be great. But if you feel you want me to use the translators I already work with, that'll be great as well. Um, do you know it's not only the English speaking people who need to hear your messages, your stories. There are people out there in the outskirts, people who don't know how to speak English, people who are illiterate that need to hear something from you. So I believe if you put your languages in your books in other languages, it will be great for them. They will learn also. They'll be able to be inspired. Maybe it's the word or they have stories for entertainment. That would be amazing. I also have the blind in mind. Have you ever thought of the blind? They need to hear what you write. They need to hear what you have in your heart. It might be the words, it might be your stories for entertainment, it might be anything that you write, maybe poetry. But because they have no sight, they cannot read. We all know that. So I think audiobooks would be very helpful to them. It's just a matter of them plugging in something in their ears and then they start listening. Amazing, isn't it? Well, that also works with us in general. Like there are times we need to do something, but we can't read whilst doing something as well. So it would be an advantage if you're doing something, but at the same time listening to something. So audiobooks are also great. You can also think of that. So if you need audiobooks done, again, I'm here. Um, I always think of people that there are people out there. I know there are many authors who don't write. There are many authors who feel lazy. Many authors who just say, when am I going to finish the 5 pages? When am I going to finish the whole book? But you know what? Don't sit on your pencil. Don't throw away your pens. Don't throw away your paper, because somewhere out there is waiting to hear what you have to hear. You don't know who's going to be inspired by you. You don't know who's waiting for your message to be uplifted. You don't know who's waiting for you. Someone out there is waiting for you. So get your paper, get your pen, start writing. We are here to help. I'm here to help. So if you need anything, please get in touch. I'm so happy that you listened. I'm so grateful for the time. I'm so grateful for the time that I've been giving for me to speak out what I had to speak out. Thank you so much for the time. Thank you so much for listening, and enjoy the rest of your day. Remember, don't throw away your pens. Don't throw away your papers. We are, and I as well, am here to help you. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Anne, her contact details will be on their screen and will be available for all of us. We're continuing. Actually, let me tell you how I met Anne. I was looking for a translator for and that was my 7th translation in my native language of Shona. And I got somebody, I put it on Facebook, can somebody translate for me? I got a hit. And when Anne read it, she was like, this is such a bad translation. So she had to redo the whole book. And I'm glad to say my book is in Shona and is blessing a lot of people. So definitely, if you've got a book or when you're writing, think about translating for those that don't speak English. Okay, we're moving on. We have an amazing speaker coming up. I'm just going to read her bio. Cynthia Chirinda is a communications and people development strategist who specializes in leadership development, youth and women empowerment. She is a minister of the gospel who carries a prophetic voice to rebuild brokenness. Her publications and audiovisual productions carry a message that provokes people and institutions to challenge their comfort zones, live balanced lives, and create transgenerational solutions through paradigm shifts. Cynthia was also instrumental in the publication of my book in Zimbabwe. It was fast, it was professional, and it wasn't as expensive as my first manuscript in America. So I am pleased to introduce Cynthia. She's based in Dubai, but she's in Zimbabwe right now. All over to you, Cynthia. Unmute Cynthia, please.
I think we've just lost her.
It doesn't come on because we talked about this, her being in Zimbabwe. Cynthia, Tendai, get ready just in case Cynthia doesn't come back, but we'll give her a minute to try and get back in. Okay, Cynthia, is she back on?
No, she's not back.
Okay.
Oh, need to go clean your shoes outside. Those
Please,
green shoes that you.
yourself if you are not one of the speakers so that we don't hear you telling of the child in the background. Okay. Tendai, did you send me the bio?
And my internet connection. Are you able to hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you, Cynthia. Go ahead.
has logged in twice.
Yes, we can see you. Go ahead.
Logged in twice.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, ladies. Good afternoon, ladies. Good afternoon, ladies. Good afternoon, ladies.
Good afternoon. Okay, we'll give her one more chance to rejoin again. We did talk about this. She said if it doesn't work out, she's going to do a video and I will send it to everybody who joined today. Okay, we're going to move on to Tendai Ndoro. Tendai Ndoro was my junior in high school, in primary school, but she has superseded me in a lot of things. She's published 8 books. She's an amazing woman who leads a ministry called Royal Diadems, amongst other things. She's a financial advisor. She's a mother, and I'm sure she's writing more and more books. She's going to tell us a little bit more about herself as she does her presentation. Over to you, Tendai. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you so much, Mags. It's such a privilege to be here today. Thank you to all the people who are listening in from wherever you are across the world. I'm Tendai, and yes, Mags is my senior. So when she says, Tendai, I need you to do this, I'm like, yes, I'm gonna be there. And I really honor the grace of God on your life. You were actually a midwife to me for writing, Mags. I don't know if you know that, but a few years ago, she published a Break Free magazine and asked me to write an article for it and relating to money and helping people with finances. And I came up with a name and I said, oh, people just need to understand money. That was the theme. And from that Understanding Money article, I've since published 2 books related to financial education, and I have run a program for the last 5 years called the Understanding Money Program, Building Generational Wealth Through Financial Literacy. And I'm so grateful for that opportunity. And I think anyone listening here, there's hopefully something that's going to be spurred in one of us, all of us, to just go to that next level with what we are doing. So writing your story. I'm here to inspire somebody today. Perhaps you're stuck. You've written that manuscript. You're halfway there. You're thinking, oh, how am I going to go on? My daughter, 11-year-old, that's so far my greatest achievement, I believe. During lockdown, when times were tough, she put a manuscript together and said, Mom, I've got my manuscript. I want to publish my book for my 10th birthday. I was floored. I was like, huh? When did you do this? And she even came up with little creative quotes, which I've put some of them here. It says, all you need to be an author is a pen, a paper, and an imagination. And I'm sure all of you here have that. And she said, creativity is not a hobby. It's a way of life. My goodness, so life becomes exciting when you start writing. I'm in the kitchen cooking and I just start to get a flow of ideas. And because if you don't capture it, it disappears. So I then either take a voice recorder and start to just speak into the voice recorder, or if I get a moment, I'm on my phone and I'm in my messaging, my what is it called, the notes pad, and I just write down that idea and I put it somewhere. Those ideas or those downloads, I've come to know them as, when you choose to develop them, can actually be transformational for someone else in their journey. And that's the beauty of being an author. You can connect with so many more people that you would never connect with on a day-to-day basis, that you would never get to see in real life. And that's one of the primary reasons you should write that book. Do not despise the days of humble beginnings. What sparked or ignited my daughter, I believe, was a book launch we did with 56 women from all over the world. Can you imagine putting 56 women to write a book together? The amount of work, the amount of communication that was required for that. And she came to the book launch, and I'm sure it sparked something in her. And she thought, I can do this too. I want to have a book launch. And I hope someone here listening who hasn't yet written that book is getting inspired already about the possibilities that will come once you do it. You know, you could be asked to just write an article for a magazine, you could be asked to put a short story together, but don't despise that humble beginning. Keep at it. So, this journey, I'll tell you my story. So I wrote the magazine for Mags, and a few days, not even a few days, I think probably, during a prayer meeting that we used to do with my friends, I got a prophetic word from one of the ladies saying, oh, you're going to write a book. You're going to start tonight. And, and I'm thinking, do they know my life? How busy I am? I have got no time to be writing no book. And at that point, I really didn't understand prophetic words, nor was I really into anything prophetic. And I thought, okay. And sure enough, that day I had a dream that you cannot forget. And so I wrote the dream down. There's a scripture that says, write the vision down in plain tablets so that the heralder can run with the vision, right? So write down those thoughts that you're having. It might be related to, the state of affairs in the state. It might be about mental health. It might be jokes, making people laugh. You're a scriptwriter who, when people will pick up your book, they'll just roll on the ground in laughter. But put it down and think, what do I want to see more of in the world? What would I like to help other people with? And for myself, this dream literally summarized a lot of what probably I had gone through. I'm really passionate about identity, about purpose, about fulfilling destiny, and a father's heart for his daughters. It helped me identify my purpose, as well as then give it back to others so they could have their own encounters and experiences whilst on the journey. What I found was needed was focus, because halfway down the journey, I was told, I just kept thinking, because most of us, we live in what I would call a rat race. You are going to work or doing things to see the money at the end of the day. And when you're writing your first book, there's nothing tangible that you can really see at the end of it. You don't know whether it's going to be a bestseller. Is it going to make a lot of money, or are you just wasting your time? And there are quite a lot of upfront costs that are required with writing a book. But I kept getting encouragement along the way. And I hope this session today is encouraging someone who's thinking, is it worth it? When you've spoken to the publisher, they're telling you they want 500. This one wants 300. The book designer wants, and you're thinking, it just looks like, and then how much will I make? It's not really about that. It's about getting the message out and impacting the lives. And for some, it's a slow burn. One book, bam, you're out there. For others, it's a long, drawn out journey. So the motive behind you writing, you've got to purify it. You've got to be committed to completing. You've got to go with the creative pockets of flow that come your way. Because when you capture them, I ended up finding out, waking up at 3 in the morning. I love my sleep, but I would just wake up at 3 and I'm thinking, why am I up? And I was like, and I'm up and I'm up. And I'm like, okay, right, let me make use of this time. And I'd sit down and then I'd get these thoughts and I'd write and I'll just keep on writing, and it was like the tap has been opened, let's go with it. So I believe those are moments of grace that everyone gets given. You could be sitting by the bench watching the kids play if you've got young children, and you start having thoughts and you're watching and you're thinking, just voice note yourself that idea and allow it to flow through. So the encouragement that comes along the way, this lady came to me and says, at a meeting, woman of God, there's a book that you're writing. You need to hurry up and finish it. There are people waiting for it. Oh, someone who doesn't know me, just coming randomly and saying that, for me, that was like, whoa, okay, I have to pay attention to this, to this script that I'm putting together. And now when I think of some of the testimonials or the reviews that people write, they keep me going. I know if I've made a difference in imparting an insight or revelation or a nugget of healing or confirmation to another human being and given them hope and given them a light in their dark moment, that's worth it. There's no greater satisfaction, I think, for an author than to really hear that what you've put together, the intent of the writing has accomplished that which you meant it to do. I'm just going to read one review here that just put a smile on my heart. It says, "A Father's Heart for His Daughters is indeed a great read, a life-changing audiobook with real life experiences which a lot of women would identify with. The book has really helped me to identify my position, my God-given purpose, and to remind me of who I am as a woman and child of God. I could not stop listening until the end and was left with a desire for more and more as the book has unraveled something within my spirit, shaping my life, changing my mindset and destiny. I greatly recommend it for anyone, especially women of all age groups and teenagers who are struggling to find their true identity. This is indeed a good read." So when you look at the title of your book and you hear the review, and you think the reason I put this out there was the theme of the book is restoration of true identity. Somewhere along the line, the identity has been lost. This is an opportunity to bring it back to alignment. And if the book does that, that's a job well done, in my view. So I'm here to encourage you today to push those book babies out. Why am I calling them book babies? Anne earlier was saying it's a lot of work. It is, by the time you're finishing your script, you are fed up of this book. You've read it through, you've proofreading, you've done some sort of editing, and now you just want the baby out. It's like a woman in pregnancy, 9 months, you're done. You're like, can we have this separation? I don't want to see this anymore. But this book has a whole new life. It has a whole load of opportunities. It has places to go. As Mags was speaking earlier, there are nations that need to get the message. People in other parts of the world that you would not ordinarily reach, who are just waiting for the insights, for the gleanings, for the teachings, for the inspiration that only you can give out to them. And the first book I published was in 2016, and I almost pinch myself and I'm thinking, what time did I write all these books? And I'm in awe really of what God has put in everybody, because everyone, you have no clue what you have until you get it out there, and you have no clue what opportunities and what else is going to come out of it. Had I said no to Mags on that Break Free magazine article, perhaps that was the little trigger that got me putting my ideas together in a way that the flow began to say, okay, the tap's open, let's keep going. My daughter then coming to a book launch and being inspired, saying, wow, my mom who stays in my house has written a book, I can do it too. And not even thinking that she's only 9 years old and whoa, this is an adult thing to do. She's like, well, if mommy's doing it, I can do it too. So the motivation, the inspiration that you give to the next generation, just seeing a person just like them being able to put something down in a creative way. And she even said to me, she says, Mom, my novel is not a Charles Dickens novel, and it's not anything to do with the Bible, okay? So when you're reading it, it's about a sassy girl who's about to have a lot of fun and experiences and encounters. And as I read it, I was just laughing, and I was thinking, you've really picked up a lot of relational issues on this dramas of a diary queen. So yeah. So my last piece to you today is the world is waiting. It's waiting for you to write that book, to complete it. It has to come to an end and then publish it. The libraries of the world need that piece of writing that only you were designed and created to put together. And there's more. Anne was talking about different languages, the audiobooks. I've just released my first audiobook of A Father's Heart for His Daughters, and the excitement I felt, it was like I've launched a book all over again. So there's life. I can believe, there's devotionals that are in that book. There are movies that can come from that storyline, so it begins to open up a whole load of possibilities for you that were not there before. So what are you waiting for? Go on and write and complete, publish that story. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much. That was powerful, impactful, and we all taking a lot with us from that. Thank you so much. It's going to be on for Q&A at the end. So if you've got questions, just hold on to them. We're going straight to Cynthia. I've read your bio. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Mags. I hope everyone is able to hear me now. I'm so sorry about that network glitch earlier on. I'm just so excited because I'm coming after Tendai, and Tendai is an amazing powerhouse. And she has been someone who has really inspired me over the years. And one of the things that she has said to all of us is, what are you waiting for? I just want to start by sharing one of my favorite scriptures, which is Genesis chapter 1 from verse 26. It goes all the way to verse 28, but we all know it as the dominion mandate. And it tells us to be fruitful, to multiply, to replenish the earth, to subdue it, and to have dominion. And when we talk about having dominion or taking dominion, it starts with you understanding what God has called you out to do. It starts with you having an understanding as a woman of wisdom why you are on this earth, your authentic identity, your purpose on this earth, and being able to say, how am I going to produce fruit that not only remains during my time, but fruits that transgenerationally can impact lives. And so for me, I want to say this is where my journey started. Most of the writing that I have done so far started from a place where I felt that I had gone through a lot of pain and I needed great cathartic moments that could help me to be able to release myself, to release the pain, and to be able to touch lives. Because as a speaker, as a pastor, as a training and people development person, in my different interactions, I would always find that people would struggle with the fact that they would feel that whatever they went through made them victims, it broke them, and it disqualified them. And my message would always be to say, whatever you feel disqualifies you is what actually qualifies you. So I started writing my story and I started speaking about how, having grown up from a very strong rural background in a very, very challenging environment, being exposed to all types of neglect and having gone through all manner of abuse that you can think of that a young girl can go through, I felt that having been battered by life like that, I just didn't think that it would make sense for me to come out as a brand or as someone that people could listen to. But when I then had the blessing of having teachers who were able to see the gifting in me, were able to encourage me to write and to read, because the very first day in primary school, I was laughed at because I didn't know how to speak English. I had just come from the rural village where I was, where I'd been raised, where I'd been born. And there I was then thrust in this academy. This institution was, at that time, we used to call them Group A schools. So I found myself there because this was a God-ordained appointment. And so people laughed at me the first day of school because I didn't know how to write my name. I didn't know how to speak English. So that is what drove me to start going to the library. I said, I've got to up my vocabulary. I've got to up my expressiveness. So I started reading up the books in the school library, the books that were in our district library. So I had a membership card at the library, and I was a frequent visitor there. So because of that, I actually realized that you could travel worlds and you could discover so many worlds just by reading. So when I started sharing my story, and I realized that there were so many people who had also gone through very damaging experiences, but felt that their lives were devastated. They felt that their lives were, there was nothing more to look forward to. I then realized that, you know what, I actually have a message. I have a message of hope. I have a message of resilience. I have a message of wholeness. So that is how I started crafting that. And I know many aspiring authors always ask me, and they say, so how do you start writing? When do you actually start? And my answer to that is, you know what, that pain point that you have, that place of discomfort that you have, that's the place where you just hit that ballpoint, get the keypads going, and everything else will start flowing. Don't worry so much about organizing it and trying to put everything into perspective, but just start pouring out, because writing is a ministry. So I spoke earlier on about Genesis chapter 1 from verse 26. Fruitfulness, as we all know, and as women, God has given us wombs. But the wombs that we have are not just the physical, biological wombs. God has given us wombs in our minds. He has given us wombs in the inner recesses of our core. And many of us have got unique messages that are decoded at the inner core of who we are. Just like the trees have got a DNA to produce a particular type of fruit, you and I have a very unique message that needs a channel and a platform for it to be relayed. So I'm hoping that at the end of this session, something within you is going to be triggered. If you have not yet published a book, if you feel you've got a story to tell, because many times we'll say, oh, but there's already been so many books that have been written on this. Oh, okay, maybe I'm a single parent. I've already seen books on that, but your story is unique. Your story is so unique. And you've got to be fruitful in that space. And once you are fruitful in that place, as Tendai has said, it's amazing, because you then begin to actually multiply. You can multiply that into an audiobook. You can multiply that into a film. You can multiply that into so many other things that can be translated and used globally, so that a larger audience can actually be reached, and you can achieve so much more. So in your uniqueness, what I would like to challenge all of us today is to understand that there is a dominion mandate on our lives. And that dominion mandate is for us to be able to take over. There are 7 mountains of influence. There are even so much more. We talk about the mountain of governance, the mountain of education, the mountain of family, the mountain of technology, the mountain of, there are just so many mountains of arts, entertainment, media. The world is waiting for you. So I just wanted to say to you, in order for you to replenish the earth, to subdue it, and to take dominion, your voice has got to be amplified. In order for you to become a brand that is professionally recognized, if you're looking for speaking engagements, if you're looking for the platforms, if you want to carve out a niche for you, I just want to say, you know what, it doesn't have to be so many pages. That unique message that you have, that is the seed that you need to be able to release to the world. And you gain confidence after that. And I'm so glad that you've got all the amazing consultants that are here, the experts that are here. Anna has spoken, she does amazing work, doing typesetting, translation services, and we're all here available for you. So I'm just here to inspire you and to say, do not be discouraged. Don't think that because that story has already been told, don't think that because there's so many books on that topic, yours is going to be too much, another book in the ocean. No, we want your voice to be out there, and we're here to help you. So my details are available. If ever you need anyone to walk through that journey with you, to coach you through, helping to navigate around your thoughts, putting things on paper, we're looking forward to be able to assist you. Mags, I think most of the things have already been said by Tendai. I don't know if there are any other questions at this point, but thank you so much for giving me this slot to just share on some of my experiences, and the fact that God wants us to walk in dominion. He wants us to exercise that Dominion mandate by writing. Thank you very much, Max.
Wow, thank you so much. That was amazing. Cynthia, I have taken so many nuggets. I'm ready for my second and third book. Thank you so much. I hope we're learning a lot. Write down your questions. Cynthia, please stay on so you can answer questions at the end. Cynthia is a publisher, so if you've got your book and you need help publishing, Anne can help you finish it off, and Cynthia can help you publish it. And the prices are nothing like the American or England or wherever you are. Awesome. We are moving swiftly on because some of us, it's Saturday morning and I know people have stuff to do. Next up is Coach Terry Mashanda. I've known Terry since high school and I'm just amazed with what God is doing in her life. She's going to encourage us. We've heard how to publish books. We've heard how to get them in different languages. Now, Coach Terry is just going to give us that final kick that we need, final push that we need to go forward. And then we're going to have a Q&A. Taku, over to you.
Hi, my name is Terry Mashanda and I'm a business coach. And I'm excited to be part of this conference and share with you a beautiful message. Thank you, Pastor Max, for inviting me to be part of the panel in this conference. My question to you this afternoon is, to what extent do you really believe that there are people out there who want and need what you have to offer, whatever that offering may be? At the same time, what's holding you from connecting with them now, my friend? These are interesting questions to ponder because often we get very excited at the possibilities of what we could have in our lives. At the same time, what holds you back from connecting with them? So what's the missing ingredient that can propel us to move forward into what we are truly capable of being, doing, and having? One word is confidence. This is my topic for you today, my dear friend. Confidence comes from knowing what it is we want, feeling certain that it will be ours, and focusing on our whole attention on it, moment to moment, and becomes an act of living and a realization of this want. If confidence was as simple as this statement that I've just said, none of us would be at this conference, right? Yes, that's right. But we are here. What gets into the way of our confidence? Is it our thinking? Is it our feelings? Or is it our actions? What's distracting us from getting this to happen? The longer we continue to live this way, the longer we get frustrated. I have a solution for you, my friend. A way to develop your natural confidence so that you can become better, you can see new possibilities, you can be more comfortable in your own skin, you can be excited about going and accomplishing a new, different you. You can possess more self-assurance about obtaining a richer and fuller life. You can be willing to take massive action in order to make your dreams come true. Being confident comes from three components of your being. That's your mind, your emotions, and your body. These three components are the building blocks of your authentic self. So you can ask me, Terry, what is your authentic self? Your authentic self is the core of where your natural confidence can be found. Accessing your natural confidence is an ongoing process, my human friend, that it starts with you realizing that we are not pretending to be something that we are not. A lack of confidence will certainly be increased if we try to be an imposter. Seek to become more authentic and present, and the more present you are, the more of a person the people see of you. Forget about looking good, being right in front of others. Never confuse the outer show with the inner confidence. I want to remind you again, my human friend, that your mind and your emotions and your body are the three components of your confidence. The mind. What is the mind? In our minds, that's where we have the potential to feel strong and confident. This requires to always keep our minds in the present moment and not let it get distracted by negative thoughts. Think of your mind as a supercomputer. If there is a behavior that you don't want, you need to change it. Like being more confident, it will require you to reprogram your computer so that it will no longer run with negative thoughts. Far too often, we allow the power of our mind to limit us by allowing us to focus on all sorts of negative thoughts. But your mind is the place where you do not have complete control. If your mind isn't supporting you, it's time to replace the software, my friend. It is only this way will you feel that your life will change. But you can ask me why, Terry? Because the results that you are getting have everything to do with what your mind keeps focusing on. The more deliberate you are to train your mind to identify and focus on the positive, the more you automatically become confident. The second component is the emotions. As we discovered that the mind is constantly running stories. These stories in turn affect the way we feel. Our feelings are greatly impacted by the level of confidence we have. Building confidence emotionally is based on the idea that when you feel good, your confidence gets boosted. Think of a time or a moment where you felt that you're eating your favorite food. Generally, how does that make you feel? Good, right? On the flip side, if you eat something that doesn't taste nice, you immediately want to get rid of it. That's the same truth about our emotions. In everything that happens to you, your emotions and feelings immediately come into play, determining how you react. The more you establish a sense of connection with your emotions, the more in control you are of your life and how you feel. Pleasurable experiences make us feel good, and feeling good is probably the best and easiest way to boost our natural confidence. Your mind and emotions are intimately linked to the body, which is the third component of your authentic self. This means that whatever you think, feel, will affect the way your body feels, which affects the way you carry your body, you carry yourself. Most of us can easily think back to times in our lives when we stopped ourselves from pursuing what we really wanted. Then we beat ourselves to it and we start showing it in the body. It comes out in the behavior that people see us in. You stop smiling, you stop showing your happiness, your posture changes. I just want to remind you, my human friend, that the body is your temple. The body is the one that projects the confidence that you have. So a confident person doesn't stop living for themselves. A confident person gets their body into the habit of taking action, even before they are ready. So my friend, I want to remind you to self-believe in yourself. The way you think about yourself when you encounter challenges in life will always have a profound impact on the ability to succeed. When all parts of yourself, which is the mind, the emotions, and the body, are aligned and moving in the same direction, you will be likely to laser beam. And when you make decisions, this belief in yourself is what is called confidence. Before I leave you, my friend, I would like to conclude and say that it's time to take actions. It's time to set out realistic goals, break down the goals into manageable actions, and make sure you take them step by step and make sure they are measurable. Have an accountable person to help you stay on track. Identify your fears. Identify that the body, the mind, and the emotions have an impact on playing on your confidence. So increase your confidence, my friend, and learn to fail well. Don't feel discouraged because certain goals that you set for yourself might not succeed. But guess what? You don't have to give up. You don't have to beat up yourself. You simply acknowledge yourself and say, I'm human after all, and I can make mistakes and I can move forward. and I know you will definitely succeed. All the best and take good care. Thank you. Take care.
Wow, that was awesome. Thank you, Coach Terry. I was writing notes and I've just learned so much. If your emotions are not in check, it's going to be hard for you to be able to put pen to paper. The scripture I had when I was coming up with this was, without a vision, people perish. And also the Bible tells us, write the vision and make it plain. So one thing Terry said was set goals and have an accountable person. I'm so glad that we have publishers on here. We have people like Anne that will help you put your ideas into book form. So I am so excited. Before we go into the Q&A, because some of you have to leave, I'm just going to share the phone numbers. So get your pen and paper ready. First, I'm going to give you Cynthia's email. Is Cynthia, CYNTIACKM3 @gmail.com. That's her email. And her WhatsApp number is +263 77 243 8068. I'll repeat, Cynthia's WhatsApp number is +263 77 243 8068. That's Cynthia, who will be able to help you publish your book, and who can help you translate or set your book into book form. If you can even message her your ideas and she can help you. Anne's WhatsApp number is +263 77 39 24 790. Taku, if you can catch that and put it in the chat so that people can, oh, you've done that, great. 263 77 392 4790. Thank you. Okay, over to the